We take the question, what is art? Personally, I'm bad at it. I just can't think outside of the box. But if I were to give it something that would be known to me, I would call it love. For to define it would diminish its meaning. But not all art are bad, not all art are good. So then, to come back to the question,
What is art? People view it as an escape. But the best art contains all the sorrows in life. So maybe it is not an attempt to elude reality, but to better understand it.
Symmetry, perspective, proportion. Art is the beauty of mathematics made visible.
and now, let's ask a few from our own community on what does art mean to them, or in general, what is the relevance of art in their lives.
Connected to history. It helps you to remember a lot of history.
For example, aning sa ato karon nasa 20, di ba? Wala siya yung mga palamuti, mga inana, mga lights, dili siya maingon na kana. Di siya ingon na unsanay ka nang interesado ang mga tao nga moari.
Life is very routinary sa atong job, so kinahanglan kang other way to your channel, so you need arts.
Through art, you can express the feelings nga imuhang nasa imo. Like, for example, you are alone. Through art, na-express nimo through drawing. That's it. And then, it gives also meaning to us as individual nga kanang ma-express nato the feelings, emotions we have. And it gives colors, labi na katong like today, like this moment, kaning may ngunaning nga kuan, kaning mga, in terms of, na mga events, memories, makuan na siya natong kanang colorful siya sa atong kinabuhi, dili lang in terms of kanang mga memories.
So now let's take a deep dive into one of our own Filipino artists. Learn their inspirations, their background, how they got to the point on where they are today, and learn their stance on AI and the use of it on art. So, without further ado, let's go.
So my name is David Alfaro. I'm a self-taught watercolor artist, and I've been painting on and off for around 10 years. And for the last around 2 years, I'm lucky enough to call myself a working artist through conventions and selling my artwork.
Kuya, can I call you Kuya David or Sir David?
Yeah, sure.
Sige. Kuya David, is there any specific artists that have influenced you to do art?
I think for me, although cliche siya, personal favorite is Van Gogh. Like super inspired dito. Like akong work, a lot of my work is space related. And ever since I was like in college I've been obsessed with Starry Night. So a big inspiration for sure is Van Gogh, and I think you could see it in my work also, like in my blues and the themes.
So, looking at your artwork, Kuya, from your early days, you were more focused on those black and white, like astronauts, birds, like more on still life. What caused the change to sceneries and all that? Like, what are the typical themes or messages do you convey through your artworks, and why are these messages important to you?
I think the early stages it was very like high contrast black and white, diba? And I think for me, I think I was mentally in a dark place at the time. I was like doing all those fun, and then at the time I was using liquid ink as a medium, and then slowly I was introduced into watercolor and exploring the medium, and I think I distanced myself from. I think it's a way for me to distance like from still life and people to a more like bigger to like seeing the bigger picture. So that's why I'm doing more landscapes and more spacescapes and oceans. I think for me it's like seeing beyond the darkness valley.
Wow. So, well, so by that message, Kuya, what are your inspirations and motivations to do your artwork?
My biggest inspiration is I could track this good like I shifted to like making space paintings when NASA's James Webb Space Telescope first released their images, and I just
Oh.
felt so inspired by like ang images without like so vivid, so beautiful, and it had compelled me to want to like make it my own and like
So
feel that
that
connection to the universe.
was that the one of your main reason from shift to liquid ink to more on sceneries? Was that part of the
Yes,
reason?
I think so. Because I remember like seeing the first images, it was like so awestruck, good. Like when they
So,
first released the images.
and when was the first time that you made your own artwork, and what was your reason during that time for you to make it, sir?
In terms of like the recent art or like art in general ba?
In terms of art in general, or more on how you wanted to start your work as an artist, like what what was the reason, or when was the first time you did this? Like, this will be my first artwork to start my journey as a professional artist, like that.
Art in general, I think it was roughly 10 years ago siguro.
Mm-hmm.
I was started actually with pointillism, just like typical artist, like starting with fan art, and then I transitioned into more comic book style. Kaya I grew up with comic books, and I would like, I especially the new 52 of DC Comics. It was a big inspiration for me,
Mm.
and I would copy that style, and I would just keep on copying like any artist, and then when I like suddenly shifted to more of the spacescape and landscape, like because I was at the time I was already working, having a corporate job for around 6 or 7 years now. I felt like I'm not happy with where my career is, or this isn't what I meant to do. And art has a way of like bringing you back. Like, so I started painting again. I started getting inspired by the James Webb images, and I started painting. And then suddenly, a friend, I was just posting it online just for myself. I promised myself lang I would paint for myself, not for likes or posts, or not even to make money. And then a friend messaged me, "Hey, can I buy your painting?" And from then on, it started to like develop na to more of like a professional level that I'm actually
Ah,
making money with art.
where and when it was held, and how did you feel about that experience?
First exhibit or convention was in 2023, actually, just last
Mhm.
year.
Just
And
last year.
then, of course, I was very nervous at the start. Kay, I didn't know what to expect, right? Like,
Mm.
if anyone would respond to my art, I've been a con goer for a while na. So when I just felt like I should try, and then when I tried it, like there's a good response to the original pieces. There's a good response to like the pieces I'm making, and then like tuloy-tuloy na like I kept like the more events kept coming, and suddenly I'm more confident not to join conventions. I understand na how like which of my works might resonate well with people.
So you would say that your first exhibit was a good experience, and artworks did you showcase in this exhibit, sir? And did you showcase your early artworks, or more on the sceneries and spacescape?
I first started actually with the spacescape and sceneries. So because I didn't feel like my early works was quote unquote good enough. And then so it resonated well. I sold sold a few pieces, and then when I think just early this year I attended a couple of events, and then I told myself, what if I try the older pieces? And then turns out the older pieces also resonate also. Na like, so I guess as an artist, you shouldn't discount our old works ba. They might also like resonate to some people.
I'll move the next few questions to my co-member, Miss Samantha Batyansila.
Hello, sir. I would like to ask, what are the typical themes or messages do you convey through your artworks, and why these messages are important to you?
Typical themes for me, like my latest works are more of cosmic and oceans, and I think the theme, like if I work to connect the two, it would be like as above, so below, like connecting the greater cosmic space to like the oceans, which is also very unexplored, diba? Uh, so I think that's for me, like looking beyond like day to day problems and seeing like there's so much wonder and so much beauty pa to explore and experience. I think that's like a big theme for me.
How do you feel about the use of AI in creating art?
Personally, I'm not a fan of using AI. I believe AI has its uses and its place, but I don't think it should be around like creative spaces like writing and painting and like anyone who uses AI to and calls themselves an AI artist is not really an artist. They are just telling a computer to generate an image. Like for example, like one example is a lot of my inspiration as an artist is about the images from James Webb Telescope, and then even if I like take inspiration from their images and like in a way like make my impression of of those images, it still is very different from the images that they release because I add something of my own into it. So I add to the conversation rather than just telling someone to make this image for me. So and then because it's just it's I don't think it's a creative process to just tell me like make me a glass of an image of a glass of water, diba? But once you're immersed in it, creativity manggod is something na you experience. You as an artist, it's a part of your process. Like you can see bits and pieces of yourself with your work.
You were asked to choose one of your artworks. What would it be, and what is the reason that you choose it?
My favorite right now is the like Into Infinity. It's it's the piece I made for my 30th birthday, and it's very personal to me as an artist because it goes back 10 years also. It's like a conversation with myself. Because I made a sort of spacey, chaotic theme like 10 years ago, same size, and then I made another one this year for my like just to see how far I came and like I was able to compare and see the lessons between the two paintings, and for me that it holds a special place in my heart.
More on last question, sir. So talking about the previous topic on AI, do you think AI can influence or change the way you work as an artist?
I think AI has an influence. Like for example, AI because I don't see AI as like I don't think we should ban AI, diba?
Mm,
Because we can't stop it. Just like digital art before, people were pushing back against it. Now, it's more common. But I
mm,
think AI is more of a tool, and like it has better uses. Like for example, helping people with solving complex problems in science and math, but in term because AI is a logical algorithm, eh, and I think creativity should come from a creative like human soul.
mm.
So I think if it would impact my life as an artist, it might be negatively because larger corporations or clients might say na, oh this dali raman to make because I can just input this sentence into this AI generator and they would give me an image, and why does it take you 1 week or 1 month to make this painting? So and then it would also like negatively impact a lot of artists because especially like if you're working with digital art, I think AI art, AI images would start to devalue and desaturate the value of like digital art. And then there are some very talented digital artists out there who just resonates with the medium.
Okay, so that is all our questions for today, Kuya David. Thank you so much for giving us your time, for participating in our interview. Really appreciate it so much. That is all. So, what did you think about the interview? Yeah, it's really informative.
Yeah, it's a good conversation to have, and then it's nice to have these conversations with people with students like you na who are exploring the arts as well, and looking at like how like AI impacts things, like especially working artists and stuff.
Hey, thank you so much for your time again, Sir David. We look forward to seeing more of your work
Thank you.
and seeing how you grow as an artist. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
So now we're done with the interview with Mr. David Alfaro. Truly a rich and informative interview. We've learned all his insights, his inspirations, his start of the journey of being an artist. And we've learned that he started being an artist almost 10 years ago. And a little close to 2 years ago, he's finally able to call himself a bona fide working artist. We see that his works on waterscape, spacescape. He highlights this in his conventions and exhibits and tries to share it with a lot of people, in which he does so in success. Although from the beginning of his journey, more focused on the contrast of black and white, focusing on still life objects. And he states this in the interview that the reason for these types of artworks, he stated that it was a depressive state of that time in his life, and the inspiration for the shift on this spacescape and landscape arts were due to the reason of seeing the picture of the universe from the James Webb telescope, and this gave him inspiration to just admire this beauty and try to apply this beauty in his work, in which we see in this artwork. We see all the spacescape artworks he does, all the waterscape artwork he does, and one of the reasons for this is that one of his inspirations, one of the artists that inspired him to pursue this work, was a well-known artist named Vincent van Gogh, with known artworks like the Starry Nights. We also learned the views of Mr. David Alfaro on the use of AI on art, and he states in the interview that AI may have some uses on mathematics and sciences, but just has no place in the areas of making art. For as he states, the making of art, for it to have value, needs to have some passion, some feelings from the human. The creativity and the freedom of the human mind makes art as valuable as it can be. The culture they've put into their artwork, their economic states to apply this into their artwork, to share it to the world, to share the view they have on the world, to share their economic, ethical, political views. The use of art shares these ideas to the world. And I believe, and I totally agree with Mr. Alfaro, based on my learnings as a student, the use of AI on art erases the creativity, the culture being put into the artworks themselves, the rich demographics that people have done to artworks in order for it to evolve over time. Using AI on it, from the lack of consciousness from a machine, outweighs just the value and the passion brought on to many artists from our time. And I truly believe that the use of AI cannot be in the areas of art. And although major businesses have started using them, and there is fear for modern artists in the world, I truly believe that this shift is not needed. For what is art without the passion of the human mind, without the creativity that the human mind may experience, or one art can be distinctly different from the other. But that is all we have for today. So I leave with this.
Practice any art, music, singing, dancing, acting, drawing, painting, sculpture, poetry, fiction, essays, reportage, no matter how well or badly, not to get money and fame, but to experience becoming, to find out what's inside you, to make your soul grow.